Hello, it's Rhea. Wherever you are and whatever time it is right now, I hope you are enjoying yourself. As January has ended, I have just now finished up all of my birthday fan art for this month. This idea of drawing a character based off when they have their birthday essentially started at the beginning of the year whenever I was looking through Jacadai fan art and I was like, wait, his birthday is really soon. And I really wanted to draw something for it, and so that is what led me to doing this. Well, that along with, I don't normally draw fan art. Like, I do, but it's not super often, and I feel like a lot of the times whenever I say I'm gonna draw fan art, it just ends up getting left on red. It ends up being left to never really be done, and I tend to shy away from it just naturally because I think, man, I don't think I have the skills for this. I don't want to butcher this character that I love a lot. I can't draw fan art of them, and that's a really silly mentality to have, so I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to come up with an excuse as to why I should do more fan art. So yeah, here we are. And this first drawing is of Shizuo from Durarara, and I kind of just intended for this to be like a sketch. While doing fan art of multiple characters based on their birthdays is fun, it's also draining, and I have other things that I'd like to work on too, so I can't do like a fully rendered piece all the time. So some of them are kind of just gonna be like really quick or like not too much effort, and that way it takes the weight off of having to do like a fully drawn out, fleshed out piece. So that's why this one's kind of like me just trying to sketch, and it felt weird because I still don't know how I feel about it, like how it turned out, but I feel like it's okay. I was a little bit awkward, honestly, because I don't normally draw guys a ton, not nearly as much as I draw girls anyways, so there was that, and then also, like, I think the jawline was bothering me. That, and then anime hair as always, I don't know what is going on, so things to work on, but you know. And one thing that is pretty cool now is that you guys get to see me, I found a screen recording app that I can use whenever I draw in Procreate, that way you don't have to see the time lapse. However, the last Speedpaint will be a time lapse because I did it first. I'm so sorry, but hopefully you don't mind too much. I mean, essentially you get the same, like you can still view me working on it through the time lapse, it's just, I know for a lot of people, and kind of for me too, it's like seeing how the person actually works in Procreate, it just feels a lot better to view as a speed paint because you get to see all of like the specific actions of like how they move the screen, how they flip the canvas, things like that. Procreate in the time lapse, it doesn't show if you flip the canvas or anything like that. It's just really, it stays in place and it just shows. I'm laughing because I can see the little notes that I write every now and then, and hopefully you guys enjoy that too. That's what I feel like whenever I work on things. So yeah. And then in the Procreate time-lapse, it's like, you might be able to see that, you might not. Or you'll see it like backwards, depending on which way you flipped the canvas and left it like that at the end. But yeah, I just feel like it works better this way. But if you guys are still okay with the time-lapse, then feel free to let me know. I'll probably use that if I wanted to make like a really quick speed paint video just to post without me talking or anything, because it might just be nice for you guys to watch my process without necessarily hearing an explanation or anything, or just get to listen to some music and chill. I don't think I've talked about Chizuo yet, so, well, I love him. He's great. It's been a while since I've watched Durarara, but him and Izaya are like, and a few of like the other side characters really fuel the series for me. I feel like because of all the side characters, I can continue watching it. If it was just like the main three of like Mikado, Masomi, and Anri, I'd probably not want to watch it. Because I find them to be I feel like their story is bland. It's irritating because I don't know. It's probably because they're kids, honestly. Now that I'm older, I'm like, God, why don't you just talk to each other? Sort your feelings out. Why do you have to hide everything from everyone? No wonder reason you have so many problems. So yeah. But the reason why I think Shizuo is great is because he's kind of just like, he's just there. Like, he just wants to exist in peace and live a calm life, not really disrupting anything because he's had so many different jobs and he ruins all of them with his anger because he's so strong. But he's really trying to be a better person. It's just Izaya hates him and wants to make his life miserable because he thinks it's funny. And yeah, that's a whole thing. I love their dynamic. I love them as a duo, even though they hate each other. I think they're great. So next up is Kuroko from Kuroko no Basket, and I decided to just do a cute little chibi version of him because I was kind of running out of time, but I still wanted to make something, so I thought it'd be cute to just draw him in like a little basket with a basketball. It's kind of a joke to reference whenever my friend kind of like dragged me and my other friend to watch the show, and one of them, she thought it was about a picnic because it was called Kuroko no Basket, and ever since then I couldn't stop thinking about like the picnic basket thing, so I had to reference it, and I honestly think it's super cute anyways. The show is really nice. Kuroko's really precious. I like main characters like him. He kind of reminds me of Nagisa from Assassination Classroom. It's probably the hair, huh? I think it's the hair. It's gotta be the hair, just because it's the same hair color. Speaking of hair, in his hair is Tetsuya number 2, who's like the little puppy that he brings along with him to the club. And I think it's so cute that he looks just like him and that they just decide to keep him. Also, why is Kagami afraid of dogs? I don't know, I just think that's the funniest thing ever because he's supposed to be like super fierce and like has an attitude and stuff like that, and he's afraid of dogs, so that's hilarious. But it's a great show. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. Sports anime is always something that people are like, well, I don't know, I'm not really a sports fan. Yeah, me neither, but trust me. Anyways, for the process of this, there isn't really much to say, but I do want to say that I want to practice my chibis more because I feel like I haven't gotten that style that I want yet in how I create them, so there's like a lot that I'm still experimenting with and everything. But when I do, I'll be unstoppable. I mean, I just find it so fun to draw things in like chibi size because there's so much that you could do with it. They could be like a charm, they could be a sticker, you could just use it as a wallpaper background. It's great. And they're so cute to look at. So yeah, I was thinking of doing this thing where I like at the end of my videos, at the end of like my weekly video, I like post the chibi that I drawn for the week and I can do this thing called Chibi of the Week. But I don't know, I'm also kind of like lazy, but not lazy, but I have a lot of other things to do as well, so I don't know how well I'd be able to uphold that, but it's an idea, I guess. Thing that could happen. Last but not least, it's everyone's favorite Speedpaint, the Procreate time-lapse. No, but this fan art is of Jacadai from Hypnosis Microphone. I'm gonna go ahead and spare you my ode to joy over Hypnosis Microphone and just talk about Jacadai instead because I love him a lot. Although, just for like a brief description, if you don't know what Hypnosis Microphone is, it's about these guys who live in this world where they have to solve things by doing rap battles. So essentially, they live in a world where there's no weapons that are illegal to use anymore other than a microphone. And so, yeah, that's how the rap battles came about. Also, they're ruled by women. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty great. And so Jacadai is one of the leaders, per se, of one of like the 4 main groups. And yeah, he's like this doctor, and he's really kind. He's one of those characters with like a really badass backstory, but it's like they've calmed down or whatever. You know, now he's like an old man. He's really not old, in my opinion. He is 35. I don't understand what is with people thinking that people in their 30s or even their 40s are supposed to be considered like old. I'm not saying this as someone who has a hard crush on him. I'm 22, and even I sometimes think of myself as like old, but realistically, that doesn't make sense. Like, if the human lifespan is supposed to be like 100, I'm just saying, you know what, let me not get into that tangent right now. Nevertheless, it's actually kind of hard to not like him. I mean, he's really sweet, he has really pretty long, majestic hair. Whenever he... So whenever he... Because he doesn't normally drink, but whenever he does, he's very lightweight, let's say, and so it's always interesting to see what he's like whenever he's drunk. Also, for a sneak peek of who I'm going to be drawing in February, his old partner, his old friend, his old buddy, his old pal, Ramada, I also really love a lot. So I will be drawing him I guess now this month, because it's February now. But I love those two. I love them so much. I love every interaction they have. They're ruining my life. Please save me. No, but aside from me fangirling, I would like to talk about the process in this one, because this was like my first drawing, like my first fully rendered drawing of the year, and I was really nervous, but at the same time I was kind of glad that I just jumped into it and didn't think too much about it. As you can see, I've gone through so many different things, and I'm going to continue going through so many different stages in this. I have a hard time like being prideful of any art that I do, but I do try to give myself like a pat on the back every now and then, and so for this, I'd give myself a pat on the back for not running away and just continuing to draw despite feeling concerned or worried about the outcome. Sometimes, actually most times, if not all times, it's better to just keep going with what you feel like you want to do, even if you feel like you're not the best at it, or even if you feel like you're not adequate enough. It's just an experience like everything else, so I'm glad that I hung in there, because I actually don't mind how it turned out. Like, even the flat layer, like, behind the mask, whew, I'm kidding. I'm thirsting, I'm so sorry. But anyways, yeah, there was like a lot to go through in this process, and I mean, his hair was giving me absolute hell. And I knew it would, because it's so pretty, but oh my god. So yeah, but it was really fun. It was a really fun challenge. There's so much to like learn from each fully rendered drawing that I do, and this really put into perspective like how I feel about my current process and things that I might want to change and stuff like that. I'm really starting to think about that more, so that's exciting. Also, so they all have customized microphones and everything, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just tough it up and draw his, even though I feel like I shouldn't. I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I should take that challenge. Whenever I was drawing in Procreate, it did this thing where, like, I don't know, sometimes if I'm drawing in Procreate for a while, it'll, you know, like, kick me out, like it'll crash. But obviously Procreate, you don't have to voluntarily save, it just does it naturally. So, but I noticed that whenever I was working on his staff, when I was working on rendering it, it kicked me out and I went back in and it was gone. Like that entire grouped layer that I was working on was gone. And I don't know if it was because I was moving the grouped layer in the middle of it crashing or what, but I was livid, I was upset, I was terrified, I was like, why is this happening to me? I was so upset and I was like, okay, you know what, there's literally nothing I can do about that, I just have to keep going and keep drawing. So I just continued drawing and I was like, wait a second, and I had a galaxy brain moment, and so I went through the time lapse again one more time just to make sure that I wasn't crazy, and that I did actually draw out his and like color his entire microphone. And I was like, oh, so it is here. And I was like, wait a second, I could just take a screenshot of it and then trace over it because I did already draw it, so I might as well. And yeah, that's essentially what I did to save it. So props to me for thinking my way through that. Problem solving, that's another thing that you learn. So yeah, overall, I feel like it turned out not bad. Once again, I'm really stubborn when it comes to like complimenting my work. So while there are things that I feel like I could have done better or tackled more, I do feel like the amount of time and effort that I put into this shows, and it's really nice to look back on. It's cool to have a piece that I drew of a character that I really like, so yeah, hopefully I can continue doing this. We're getting close towards the end of the video essentially, or at least I'm done with pretty much all the talking that I needed to do. I said everything that I needed to say at this point, so first, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and your time here, please let me know by leaving a like, and if you're curious to see more of my content, then please feel free to subscribe. I will try my best to post weekly, that is the plan right now. I don't really know, there's like a lot going on, but I will most definitely try to post weekly at least. And if you would like to see more updated content, I suppose, then feel free to follow me on my social media that I have at the end and also linked in the description. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for being patient with me and things like that. I'm trying. But I'm excited for all the videos to come, and I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys are safe, and take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!